So it is my great privilege to introduce to you the recipient of the Legacy Award for 2009, Senator Specter, a hero of mine. Senator.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Photo ops are the makings of Washington. They happen all the time, but it's a little awkward to have a gala room full of people like this standing watching a photo op. I think we might have been a little more considerate of your situation. I'm delighted to be here this evening with this very distinguished group, Research America. I thank you for the leadership that you are showing, representing some 500 patient advocacy groups and scientists around America. I understand some 125 million people. That's quite a task you've undertaken, and one which is very, very necessary. To be introduced by Dr. Zerhouni is a great honor. He is an extraordinary scientist, provided great leadership to the National Institutes of Health, and was willing to speak out on some key issues. When speaking out, had some political problems. When we were facing the issue of embryonic stem cell research, having a series of hearings in the Appropriation Subcommittee, and Dr. Zerhouni was a witness, we asked him the tough questions. And although some in the administration, only the president, had a little different view, Dr. Zerhouni spoke candidly about the importance of unfettered scientific research. Senator Harkin and I have been collaborators on many items, and one of them is the legislation authorizing embryonic stem cell research to supplement what President Obama has done. An executive order is fine, but it isn't permanent like legislation, so we're pushing ahead. The National Institutes of Health, the crown jewels of the federal government, doing the critical research work. When I became a senator, after the 1980 election, the first committee I chose was Appropriations, and the first subcommittee, Health and Human Services, and immediately it seemed to me that there was no better investment than scientific research to conquer the maladies of the world. Senator Harkin and I took the lead in increasing that funding, as you may know, from $12 to $30 billion. And more recently, we have seen cost of living adjustments not made, across the board cuts, and the funding dwindle. So when the stimulus came up, it seemed to me that there was an opportunity to combine some high-paying jobs and stimulating the economy with a big step forward to conquer the maladies of the world with our scientific know-how. And I was pleased to be able to take the lead in introducing the $10 billion, and glad to see it passed. I was pleased to hear Dr. Zerhouni compliment my courage. I knew I'd find someone somewhere who would do that if I looked far enough. There are some who like it, but there are some who don't, like the Republican Party of the Commonwealth of Pennsylvania, which has filed a resolution of censure picketing my office and raising a question as to my bona fides as a Republican to stand for re-election. But I think it is worth it. The stimulus package overall was absolutely necessary, and that $10 billion is very, very important. One of the items that I've been asked is this a one-time proposition? And the answer is it remains to be seen. What we need to do is to incorporate it into the base. So instead of funding for next year, we start with $40 billion instead of $30 billion. And I've been asked how to get that done. I've been asked how to get that done, and I have an answer. The answer is to help me become chairman of the Senate Appropriations Committee. You might think, if you think that's a little political, you're right. Only Senator Cochran of Mississippi is ahead of me on appropriations, and Thad is term limited, and in another term, pendulum shifts back and forth with party control, I'll be chairman. There's a pretty big if in there, if there's another term. And there are two subparts to the if, the primary and the general. So you may be hearing from me on another subject on another day. But I believe the potential for scientific research is absolutely limitless if we allow the doctors to take their course. And I'm a fellow, as you may know, who's had Hodgkin's twice, gone through chemotherapy twice, lost my hair, and during the confirmations hearings of Chief Justice Roberts and Justice Alito, I was seen on a lot of television screens. And suddenly I found there was more interest in my hairstyling than my public policy. It's true. You don't get many true stories out of Washington, but that's a true story. I got suggestions that I ought to wear a toupee, and I rejected that. Some said I ought to shave my head and become a sex symbol. Excuse me, young lady, what's so funny about that? But I decided not to do that for two reasons. One, my wife was against it, and with a reason like that, you don't need a second reason, but I had one. The second reason was I wasn't qualified. But I have all my hair back now, and I'm at the top of my game and raring to go to keep working hard to see to it that scientific research is advanced in America. And I'm very grateful to receive this very distinguished award, the Legacy Award from Research America, because of the great work you are doing. I think I've talked a little long, but I do appreciate the award, and I thank you for all you are doing in collaboration with NIH to conquer the maladies of the world. Thank you.